Hey y'all, welcome in the room. Hey everyone, we wanted to come live because I'm sure a lot of you heard what happened. The verdict's in, and guilty on all counts. Life with no parole, with additional years added and other stuff if he tried anything. And yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. And we wanted to come on live and just share, what we think about it. And, talk to you guys about it, because I have been following this trial since it started. And it feels really good to be on the side that me and Quetzal are on, because we're no longer one-sided. You got this side and that side, and then you have the truth. And I believe that I'm in the truth of what's going on. And it's really good to not be unbiased or one-sided, because I really got to see how all of you thought about this. How all of you thought about Carbonation and Nature Boy and everybody involved. I was able to really see where everybody was coming from. It wasn't about whether or not I agree with you or not. I was able to see the experience that I had and how people thought about it. There was plenty of people that disagreed with everything, and there were a lot of you that really support Nature Boy. Y'all really was rooting for him. And like myself, a lot of you were like, everybody wrong, like everybody is to blame for this. And as much as we do not care for his personality, and he definitely has done a lot of things, his sentencing, it just doesn't feel right. But at the same time, as I said about the victims and the predator, everyone is getting what they deserve. He got what he deserved. Whether or not it felt good, or whether or not it's wrong, he got what he deserved. And I'm going to stand on that. And yeah, I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. There's so many feelings about it, but at the end of the day, I'm going to always hold myself accountable. And that's what's kind of sad about the situation. Now I have sympathy. I have sympathy for Nature Boy, that he could not hold himself accountable and see what he did. Even when the judge was like, come on, set your case, he's sitting up there cocky laughing and then saying whatever he said. But then on the other side, I have sympathy for the victims, because they showed no accountability. No one showed accountability. Everybody is pointing the finger at who should be holding accountability, but no one in the situation held accountability. But at the end of the day, I hope this is a lesson for all of you who are watching. Whatever you do, you get what you deserve by the consequences that's coming to you, no matter what. And I hope that the victims of this case can feel like they did what was right and move forward. And now what you going to do? Who are you going to become now that this is over? You got your justice. Now you will not be able to blame Nature Boy for nothing. Now what are you going to do? What are you going to do now? Okay.
I mean, they might still blame him for it, and that's the thing. For me, what I realize is that this whole situation, Carbonation, it wasn't about Nature Boy, and I think that it was so easy for people to get lost in Nature Boy, the character, that the individuals that chose to participate and be part of Carbonation, they didn't realize that it was for them. It was never for him to take ownership, to take accountability. It was never for him to do the right thing or be righteous. That wasn't his responsibility. The role that he came to play was to just show you yourself, to put pressure on you, to see who you would become and how you would respond, and that would allow you to see yourself. And so if you look at life spiritually, we always tend to take spiritual lessons, but we want other people to learn the spiritual lessons. Oh, he's going to, this is his karma, this is his, and that might be true, but when do we truly reflect on ourselves and our own lessons, in our own spiritual karma? And, and so it's like, if you're not doing that, then you really didn't learn the lesson. There's going to be something else in your life that you're going to go through. You're going to keep repeating the pattern, right? And for us, like, look at what we have. Like, we have a beautiful family. Look at where we live. And in some ways, I do acknowledge Nature Boy for where I am today. Like, he contributed to my life. Literally, like, we didn't even know each other until Nature Boy in carbonation. I wasn't thinking about the tropics and living more in tune with nature to that degree until I found Nature Boy. So for me, is this personal, just realizing, like, man, like, that has led me here, and that has been part of my journey to get here. And I just realized I was talking to Grace about this. There's this really good, like, if you guys want to understand who Nature Boy is, go Google The Petty Tyrant by Carlos Castaneda. He basically describes Nature Boy to the T. And the Petty Tyrant, in what he's describing, is someone who basically pushes your buttons, who puts pressure on you, who basically annoys the shit out of you, but it's all a means to spiritual development. And the more you respond and react to the tyrant, the less you've learned your lesson. And the whole point of interacting with the petty tyrant is that you learn to not react in life, but to remain your composure, to not allow things to tip you out of balance. And so he says, the petty tyrant in that writing, he says, when you find someone like this, be grateful, because these people don't come around too often. You don't find people like Nature Boy in your reality. They're not common people. And so if you can find someone like that and then leverage them to spiritual growth and development, it'll be the most developing thing that you can find, because they're going to do everything they can to poke at you, to get you to react, to see how you respond, to just make fun of you, to, use your weaknesses. But if you could have the right perspective, it could be the most powerful thing that you can encounter. And I believe that's what me and Grace have been able to do with Nature Boy, with carbonation in the situation. We've been able to have the right perspective that has empowered us tremendously. And so for us, that's why we kind of just sit in the middle, because it's not about Nature Boy. It's not about them. It's not about it's about just truth. Like, you can't escape the consequences of who you are or are not being, what you said or did not say, what you chose or did not choose. Like, there's repercussions to everything, even inaction. So that's my thoughts.
Well, what do you say? Because I saw there's a lot of comments coming through. What do you say about the comment that says, it seems like we're more harsh on the followers than we are with Nature Boy?
Yeah, because it wasn't about him. That's what I just said. If it wasn't about Nature Boy, Nature Boy was just the catalyst. And it was our job. But this is how I see it. I'm not saying nobody has to see it this way, but it was our role to utilize him for our greater development. And I know people don't want to look at it that way, and you don't have to, but I think for me, that has been the most empowering way of looking at it. That has helped me to really understand the situation from a perspective where I don't feel victimized by it, but in fact, it feels like an empowered way. And so for me, like, that's always going to be the preference, is what is actually elevating me from this experience? What can I take away and learn from this? And so that's what I would respond to that person.
Yeah. Yeah, and if anybody wants to come on camera and share their take, this is not, you come at us and bash us. This is our perspective. you also have your own perspective about what happened. So we are opening the floor to people, even if you're like, no, he killed, he gets what he did, and whatever. That's y'all.
You can disagree, but disagree respectfully.
Yeah.
You know, don't come on here and start yelling at us or be emotional about, you know, your disagreement. Just share and be, you know, respectful. That's it.
Yeah. Miss TT said he thought he was untouchable. That's a fact. And that's why he is getting what he deserves. Because in that moment, he showed no remorse. Even the judge said, I would have changed it, but you don't got no remorse. You coming up on here talking. You cannot talk divine wisdom in that system. See, I knew what Nature Boy was talking about. I knew exactly where he said, I forgive you. For everyone that we know exactly what he was doing. Some say he's casting a spell. No. If you know why forgiveness is so important, it is for you not to have nothing in your heart, because what I'm not about to do is hold any energy over you and take that with me as I continue to walk in this life, and take that with me my next lifetime. He is showing you how to handle a situation like that. But in that situation, that don't pan out, bruh. You can't talk that divine wisdom in that system. No, you in man's law, boo-boo. What you talk about universal law. And what he looked like was someone that was disrespectful, held no remorse, and that's it. I get it. I see both sides. I knew exactly what he was doing and the example he was showing, and I saw exactly why he is in the situation that he's in. I don't know what made him think to go and continue to be Mr. Cult Leader in a Bible Belt state, Georgia, out of all of that. He was asking for it. And he got it. And I think the reason why so many people can look at this as this is not okay is because some of you been following since 2016. Some of you been following since 2020 when the shit hit the fan. So y'all seen all the angles of everybody's motive and how they carried themselves. That is why y'all are on the position that we're on, that everybody needs to be held accountable because of the way they acted. Because I was thinking about this. I was like, this is the timeline of carbonation. When it was melanation, it was a movement. It started as a movement. Then it became a tribe. And then when it got to carbonation, it started being a cult. And then after it became a cult, they were no longer a cult. They were a gang. They were acting like a gang. The stuff that they were saying, beating up each other, but all that violence and drugs and stuff that they were doing, drinking and drugging and clubbing and sexing and doing all that stuff, that was a gang. That wasn't no cult. It was a cult when we was in carbonation. But it turned into a gang when they got to the States, acting a dat blame fool.
Yeah.
You know, that shit was something else. Oh, somebody. Okay. Somebody's supposed to be coming on. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's like you got your finger.
Oh no, I'm driving. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, please be safe. Please be safe. I don't want you driving.
I'm parked.
Okay.
I'm parked right now. What I have to say about this is this really saddens my heart, really, honestly, because as Black people, as melanated people, we don't really see the bigger concept of what's going on, right? Mm-hmm. You have a white judge. You have a white judge, right? That sentence a person to life in prison. Does he deserve life? No. Does he deserve some type of sentencing because of the way? Actually, for the way he's acted, if you're gonna try him on that. Go take him to court for those type of things, right? But nobody did. They rather they just maliciously prosecuted him off of no evidence. And this shows you it's not only him they're showing you every black person. You get out of line, this is what we do to you. Anybody that has black sons, you have brothers, fathers, this is the verdict that happens to you when you try to step out of line and not stay in your place as a slave, because we're still enslaved because we haven't claimed our birthright. And like, it's bigger than Eligio. You're not seeing that. Like, you guys see it, but everybody else, it just shows you that the black woman could sit here, allegedly lie. That's what I can say. I'm not even gonna say allegedly lie. She lied. Okay, I'm not gonna even hide that shit. She lied. Like you can sit here and lie on a person. That it hurts me. It hurts me because it could be my son, bruh. It could be my son. It could be your brother. It could be. And I sat here and I cried because even though he's laughing, I don't think he's laughing out of just to laugh. He's laughing out of pain and shock, a shock value or whatever. Yes, he does. You know, like Eligio, he's a hurt child. You can see that. He's a wounded child that had no parents. He had no parents. He had nobody. So, like, when you don't have a parent that can, especially a mother that can nurse you the right way, teach you the right way to grow up, it kind of leaves you in a place where you're wounded, and he's searching for something. The way he went about it, was it right? No. But for to see black women, and it's black women, and even in the Bible it says that it's the women that curse. Even Abel, was it Abel? No, Adam, from eating the fruit off the tree. So it's always been. I'm sorry. Sorry, no, I took you off speaker, but we're actually the problem. We're the problem in society. If we can't see that it all starts with the woman, with the black woman, then we have a problem. That's all I have to say. Like, it just hurt me to see that we just keep demonizing our own, and we're selling our own to the system that has raped, pillaged, taken our land, and they hide behind benches. They hide behind uniform. Those are your KKK members. Those are your KKK members, and they're still doing the lynching, but now in prison. There's a lot of mass incarcerated brothers that are innocent, sitting in prison, getting killed. They're like, that's not a place to be. Like, it's a bunch of masculine energy. Just, they don't know how to take it out, so they're gonna kill each other. They're gonna do whatever in there, especially in the state of Georgia. That's a racist freaking state. And it just hurt to see that some, like, our own did it. It's our own that did it. We're the one that sold our own people into slavery. We're the ones that sold our birthrights. Even in the Bible, it teaches you that it's the woman that did it to that made Adam eat from the fruit. It's us. We have to sit back and take a look at ourselves. We're the problem because we're birthing these sons. We're the ones birthing these kids. We're birthing these there's something that has to change. If we can't change, then I don't know. We're headed for destruction. We're already in destruction. But,
well, and this is the most unfortunate thing, Empress, is that Eligio knew this. He taught this to us. He told us that he used to give us scripture about the woman. So he knew this, and he didn't move accordingly to what he knew. You know what I mean? Like, he would teach us. We had to watch documentaries, and we had to teach it. And yet that wasn't enough for him to move wisely. He moved recklessly, carelessly. I think her internet's out.
Yeah, I'm kick me out because my thing is acting up.
Okay, I will. You know everything you're saying. He knew that. He knew that the system wasn't for the black man. He knew that the generational curses between a black man and woman was going to be his demise. And he didn't, he still moved the way that he moved.
I think he knew specifically it was going to be through her, and he still
did it. A part of me feel like, no, I ain't gonna say it. So anybody that it's like, nah, bro, he is guilty. He get what he deserves. Come on, we're not going to attack nobody in what they think. We don't want just everybody coming here because they agree with us. But this is your time to speak. This is your time to share. This is what the carbonation movement was about. It's using your voice and speaking, communicating, putting yourself out there, telling the truth, telling your truth. This is what it is. So let's honor that. Y'all been watching all this whole time. Now it's time for you to honor what you've been giving your energy and focus to. Honor it by coming on camera and talking. And we're not going to, you don't have to agree with us, but share.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. Quetzal, I talked to you like a couple days ago on a different channel.
Okay.
But the question that I have for you guys is, what amount of time do you guys think is suitable for Nature Boy? Like, say if he wouldn't have got LWOPed, as they say, what amount of time is suitable for him to be rehabilitated? Because personally, I don't know. I don't think that there is, I really don't think with someone like him, I don't know that rehabilitation is truly possible. And I'm not, again, I'm logical. I look at facts with situations. And another thing too, he chose to go to Georgia. Everybody's like, oh yeah, life is a long time. That's like the sentence for the R word in the state of Georgia, which if he was doing anything, he should have researched that. Like, hey, maybe I shouldn't move to Georgia because of the sentences. So I don't know. Like I couldn't disagree more with the previous caller. Like, no shade to you, but I couldn't disagree more with the previous caller because he chose out of everywhere back in the States to go. My hair is looking crazy. Sorry. Out of everywhere to go, he chose to go to Georgia. And in the Bible Belt, I think one of y'all said that just now, in the Bible Belt. So he chose those things. So back to the question. Sorry, I'm a little, what do you think is a suitable amount of time for him to be truly rehabilitated? Like, y'all really think if he would have got, let's say he would have got 3 more years. He did 2. Say if he would have got 3 more years. Is that enough time? If he would have got 10 years, is that enough time?
I don't think Nature Boy is possible being rehabilitated. I think anybody who thinks that didn't really know him or understand him. I think he really believes what he believes, and because he really believes it, he'll go out to this last second saying the same thing. He's not going to rehabilitate. It's who he is. Like, that's what people don't understand. The nature of belief is strong. It's really strong, and I've never seen someone with as much conviction as he had. And I think that's something, a lesson that people could take from this is that be mindful of what you place your belief in, because that belief has the power to radically transform your life and your situation, So, like if you really believe something, it'll take you somewhere, and you got to be mindful of where that place is, because it might take you somewhere like he ended up. But then again, if he believes he is who he says he is, like, it's not a factor to him. So for me, I feel like he got whatever he got, like that's what he needed to get, because that's what he got,
Yeah, I don't know that it's necessary. Well, for me personally, I don't know that it's necessarily about beliefs. It's about actions. And I think that his actions, the things that he actually did, got him to where he is now. The things that he actually said, the things that he actually did. Nothing. I can't even say it's nothing that anyone quote put on him. People be like, oh yeah, they put on him. It's things that he actually said and actually did to get him to where he was. And to the comment the other caller made about about the judge, I think she maybe would have been a little lenient on him, but she said since the beginning, of the trial since when, I don't know if I can say her name. We all know who she is, but ever since her opening argument, he did the faces, he was turning around, he was not really, kind of paying attention. And even during the witness statements, is that what it's called? That whatever they do at the end.
Yeah.
Same thing. He was laughing. He was not, and I think that she would have maybe been a little lenient with that. And even Booker said that too. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the reason why he is how he's gotten himself to where he is. I cannot say that anybody put Nature Boy where he is except for him. Now, he did have honestly a tragic childhood, which I think is part of the reason why parents need to really raise their children right. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, after you become an adult, that's kind of is what it is at this point. But I can't say that this was because of anybody else except for him.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for
you're welcome. And again, I just don't think that there's any amount of time that can truly rehabilitate him.
when he was in jail, well, he still is, but when he was in jail, like I think maybe the first year we actually spoke to him. It was like while Aaron was there and while Aaron was still a part of it, like we were like really tuned in, and we was just amazed of how things went down. But we eventually got in contact with him, and we told him, it was like, if you don't have any accountability for your part in this, you're not getting out. We told, so everything that we're saying to you, we gave him that same energy. It was like, you're not getting out if you do not change your heart and how you are looking at this. This is why you are in here, because of you. Okay, you're in here because of you, and he didn't like that. He didn't like that.
Yep.
But we told him, like, you're not getting out until you hold your own self accountable. And
I guess that's why he got life, because he's like, I'm not taking any accountability.
But at the same time, he would preach or teach, take accountability for your actions. It's all about you. Wherever you go, there you are, type shit. And then look what it got you.
Yeah.
So I just really, really wanted to know that, because I saw a couple of comments like, oh, that's too much. 8 years, he would have been fine. Like, y'all really think in 8 years he would have been okay? He'd have been totally like, okay, I'm not gonna do this. It's just not.
Yeah,
I think nature.
Yeah, I don't think locking him up should even be with the intention of having him change, because we don't get to decide that. But I will say that if you're looking at this stance to protect the weak-minded, yes, he is a predator. If you have a weak mind, oh yeah, he is a predator over you. But is that okay for us to just sit here and have weak minds? Or we know somebody is out there. It is our responsibility to equip our minds and how to handle a person like that. But because we know everybody ain't going to do that, they're like, shoot, we're going to just lock him up to keep everybody safe, because we are in society. So, and we taught everything that's going on. We already taught this. When you are in Babylon, you go according to Babylon rules. And with Janae's stance, she didn't do anything wrong. She followed the law. She went, said she got violated. She said no. The law said if a woman says no, then that means no. So she went according to Babylon laws.
Yeah,
she didn't do
and he did too.
According to society.
he did too, because he acknowledged that she said no. But like, just yeah. So back just real quick before I go, I know probably other people want to get on. What did you mean by we don't get to decide to change? I think we do decide to change every day, every moment. Like, what do you mean by that?
No, I said we don't get to decide if he changes.
If he changes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We can decide.
Yeah, okay. Oh no. We don't get to decide that someone changes. We don't get to decide that. Right. We only get to decide if we change. And that's the whole point I was telling to all the members, is that it's not up for everybody to keep pointing the finger. He needs to be held accountable. But what about you? What about you? Because you still got to go out into this world and deal with yourself. That's all we're saying. And this is what me and Quetzal have learned over the years, being out of that, because we chose to leave, because we decided that was not right for us, and we had a baby. Now, if I would have went back because I was, whatever happened to me and that baby that I was taking with me, that would have been on me.
not Nature Boy. That would have been on me because I went knowing what was going on and knowing that, okay, something's not right, but I'm going to go because I believe in something. And if something would have happened to me and that baby, that's on me, not on Nature Boy. There's too much information out there, evidence that he put out there to show us who he really was. This was public. It was not, he always presented himself the way that he is.
Yeah.
He always has since day one.
Yeah.
You know,
I got you. I mean, if something would have happened to you at the account of him, he would have been responsible.
I mean,
but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
it would have been. Just like the situation, he's
yeah.
responsible.
Yeah,
so I get
that.
you.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. To the public, I can't control how the public wants to view my experience. But at the end of the day, this is my life and I'm living it. And when I get off this camera, ain't none of y'all gonna be here. I gotta go back to being me and dealing with my life. So so it's okay if people want to have an opinion, but I still gotta live my life and handle the consequences of the choices that I made, regardless.
Here's the thing, like there was really some really reflective information that we learned about ourselves at Carbonation.
Yeah.
And this is why she's saying that, because when we left, we dealt with the same issues that were pointed out at Carbonation. So then we started to realize, oh, like this isn't just him. Like this is actually real things about us that we need to work on. And so if we would have just kept saying, well, Nature Boy need to change, Nature Boy's doing this, and never really took accountability that, yes, as crazy as that situation was, that it showed us parts about ourselves that we still need to work on, then we wouldn't have been able to transcend that mindset saying that it was circumstantial. And this is what I would love for like the people that left Carbonation to know and understand, that yes, it was dysfunctional and all this stuff, but there's probably a lot of things that you learned about yourself there that is still relevant and that you still need to be aware of moving forward, because that doesn't go away just because he's locked up.
That's true. I just want to point out that psychological control is a real thing. No, I'm not trying to pass the buck and say, oh, the devil made me do it or whatever. But, like the psychological control is real. We have evidence and proof that it is real. We have evidence and proof that people can have an influence on the actions of other people. And again, I'm not trying to pass the buck, because part of me understands what y'all saying, but part of me is just like, especially in that type of controlled environment, it would be hard for anybody on the outside, but in that type of controlled environment, because I know you guys have been on panels, it got measurably worse after you guys left, like measurably worse after. So we do know that psychological control is a thing, and in certain situations people are not able, and people don't make rational decisions for their lives. So
well, I was gonna say, like I'm talking about things that are like not like, oh, you got up and you slapped that person. I'm talking about like real issues, and they know that they still have these things. Like even in our relationship, we thought, oh, our relationship with each other was or it wasn't good because of that situation or because of Nature Boy, but we still kept having issues even after we left. That's what I'm saying. Like not like the actions that we took that were influenced by him, but things that are really pertaining to us, like fundamentally. And so we did get to see those things, and those things were pointed out and discussed at Carbonation, and so we still have to deal with them moving forward. That's the kind of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I agree with what you were saying about, because people do agree to that. I guess for me, when I saw what happened, like way after I left, it was like way after I left, when with all the violence, when I saw that, I understood why, because I understood how it ended because I was there from the beginning. So I understand why it resulted into that, because of how people acted when they got there, who they were before the coercion, before all of this. I got to see people in their character when he wasn't around. So that's why I'm like, I'm not surprised. Of course you would do whatever Nature Boy said, because look at how you was moving when you first got there. That nobody told you to do that. Nobody told you to mess with all those dudes in the camp. Nobody told you to lie. Nobody told you to do that. You chose to do that. So of course, over time, if you are presenting yourself a certain way in that environment, oh, he gonna play on that. If he see you a woman that you are easily let, he's gonna play on that. He's gonna play on that. So when I hear the stories of what happened to some of them that I know because I was there when they got there, I'm like, well, I was there. You was down for it. Even when all the women said no, they don't want to. You were the only one that said yes. Why is that? Because no one forced you to do that. No one.
Do you think that in an environment like that, people can truly have free will? People can
Yes.
truly say what they mean. I disagree.
Yeah. Well,
Like I couldn't disagree. Yeah, I know I asked you.
Well,
I know I asked you. But in that
yes,
type of
because
environment,
they
I mean,
did.
what
Yes,
what was that,
no, this is
Grace?
the
I'm
thing.
sorry,
We
what
need
you say?
to stop putting everybody in one box because there are some people there that wasn't down for it. There were some people there that was, and there were some people there that they didn't have the mind to even make a choice. And there were so many people that came through there. We all didn't do the same things. I don't think it will be in your best interest if you're looking at the situation to put everybody in the box, because there were men that came there that as soon as they saw Nature Boy giving their girl the eye, they took their woman and left. Okay? And there were women that came there, and
I
as soon
get
as
that.
Nature Boy started talking that slick talk, they would say absolutely not, and they left. And there were women that were there that came there and they were loose before Nature Boy got a hold of them. Before Nature Boy told them who they're going to be, there were women that came there under the premonition to be a free spirit and to fool around with whoever they want to. I saw it. I seen it all. I seen it all.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know?
think you're lying. I don't think you're lying about that.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not saying you're lying about that. I
yeah,
definitely believe that.
but what I'm saying is you're not lying either. But it's just that there's so many different people that came through there. It's just not, oh, this is the one way. Because Nature Boy ain't never put his hands on me. Nature Boy ain't never violated me. Nature Boy ain't never made me do anything outside of my integrity. Now he had me doing
But
things that
he
I
did that to a lot of folks
yeah.
though, and
Yeah,
that's
to
just
a
a fact,
lot of
you
people.
know. And
Yes,
I'm
he
glad.
did.
Shit, I'm glad he didn't do that to you. You know what I'm saying? But he
Girl.
did. He actually did. He did that to people before before carbonation, you know?
Yeah,
So,
so it's like
yeah.
but there's so many ways of looking at this. It really is. But when you put yourself in the position that he did, oh, there's consequences to pay. You
Yeah.
can't, and that's what I said. You can't play with the name of God. You can't play with that. None of us. Don't play like that. And he talked about them characters, and we were playing the skit. No, don't play like that.
Yeah, there's no
Don't play like
skits. And you obviously can't play with the state of Georgia either because they're not playing.
that.
They're not playing.
Definitely not.
So I
Definitely.
just wanted to get on here to say that. I'm sorry to take up so much
I know
time, but
somebody left and
I
everything.
know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
No,
took so
we was enjoying. This is the type of conversations that I like to have. Is that obviously you don't agree with us, we don't agree with you, but we are still able to have a conversation. That's how it
Yeah,
is. Like it should be
that's how it
that
should be.
amongst us.
Yeah, that's how it
You
should
know
be.
what I
So,
mean? Yeah.
okay.
All right.
Y'all take care.
You
You
too.
All right. Bye.
What? Somebody was there, but they went off. Yeah, I just enjoy talking to her. I just so sorry y'all that went off. What y'all think about what the was it
verdict?
the not the verdict, but
The sentencing?
no, after
Oh, the victim.
the all the victims. What y'all think about like what Kendra said, Velvet, Janae, Solar, like what y'all think about all and Aaron? What y'all think about that? Because I thought it was interesting.
That shit was low-key awkward in some parts.
Yeah. Did y'all get to see that part?
Oh, the witness statements. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. And he could have stayed. He could have came up there, and if he would have just played the parts, maybe it wouldn't have ended as severe. But he's so good at playing the part and playing a role. Like you couldn't just lie some more. You'd be lying. So you could lie and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." You couldn't like, could you lie about everything else? You couldn't. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said Velvet tried to give another target. I know, right? Velvet had me cracking up. I was like,
some strays.
Velvet and Solar's, they was waiting for their moment, especially Solar. Solar's like, I was waiting for him to say, I'm about to drop an album soon. I was waiting for that.
You can follow me at.
And Kendra, hers was the most heartfelt because she clearly came prepared. Aaron did what Aaron always do. He's very well articulate. Who else? Oh, Janae. We can agree to disagree with her part. Like Janae, like I feel like she was mustering that emotion, you know. But yay, she got the justice that she was looking for. And I'm sure it's a relief. I'm sure it's a relief for everyone involved, even watching, like, this shit's finally over. But I don't think it's over. I think this is the end, but it ain't over. And y'all know what I mean. This is the end, but it ain't over. I just can't see that them taking this man off, and we ain't gonna hear nothing else from him, even though the judge.
He said that Solar is a bad father because of Nature Boy. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't end with like what happened there. It's like 30 years later, it's gonna be like, oh, it's because Nature Boy one time, you know. And it's like, I get it, you know. Like you can always kind of revert back to like whatever's happening in your life as a consequence of like this situation. I just don't think that's helpful.
Yeah, it's just Kendra definitely put a lot of thought into her closing statement for sure. Like, she was very detailed and
it's so
emotional.
Crazy that it ended this way.
You think so?
Because it's like it doesn't feel real because it's over, you know, like it's over, and it's like I never thought it would end this way, like through the court system. You know, I figured maybe somebody, you know, kill his ass or some crazy shit like that, but like through a court system, it's just so ironic because they said, and this is just my opinion, and I know people are gonna get offended, but they said that they finally got to confront Nature Boy, but I don't think that they did because they needed the whole system, the bailiff, and everybody in order to be able to say what they needed to say, you know. And so it's like it's still conditional. Like until you can confront him directly without needing anybody, like you still are almost relying on somebody else to come and give you that protection you feel you need. Because I just think people outsource their own power. Like even she said, like, you think people there had free will? Like it's almost, so what are you trying to say? That he is God, and if you're in his presence, you're living with God because you don't have free will, you don't have control of your thoughts and actions. So you almost make him God by giving him that kind of power, rather than telling people, look, I know it's uncomfortable, I know you don't want to, you know, confront and go against what he's saying, but you need to, or otherwise you will carry him as God, and he will move as though that's the case, you know?
Yeah. Why is it doing that?
I don't know.
Y'all, Instagram be janky. Hopefully this won't cut out. Yeah, but
yeah, it's not letting us scroll.
Oh yeah, it's not letting us scroll. So if y'all say anything, we can't even see it. But yeah, you might want to come on camera, share their part about it. You don't have to agree with us because it's not about us. It ain't about you either. But it's just about something that we got to experience in Earth's history. One of the most craziest cases. And the thing is that Nature Boy didn't have a chance because this type of case is serious. And I heard another influencer say that this is probably the first time a cult leader I don't know if you want to type it in. I don't know if they can see it because he want to know where you can view it.
The verdict?
The verdict.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know where it's at now.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we're watching it live.
We always watch, and we don't know if he's going to save it. But what was I saying?
I know Max V. Media.
No. What was I saying? What was I talking about?
This is the first time a cult leader.
Yeah, this is the first time that
a cult leader has never been like escaped. Is that what
no? This is the first time that they said that this type of situation has ever been brought to court where they're having a trial. Usually with these types of things, they take the plea. And with Nature Boy's case, because we know there's plenty evidence out there that shows there's a lot of motives. Okay, there's a lot of motives. This is not cut and dry that this happened, and we all know that. Y'all know that. Even the ones that are glad that he's got life, y'all know it. Even the one, y'all know that. Y'all don't want to accept it, but y'all know there's too many variables in this whole situation. But because he didn't have the money and the proper legal representation, he got the public defender, and they just not equipped or have the care to go that far. Because a lot of people were saying that they feel like they were very sloppy with this case. Like even the prosecutors didn't really do enough of their research. I guess they were just banking, hell, he's black and he's a cult leader, and the R word is mentioned. This is a closed case. That's probably was like, this is a closed case. We don't even know why we're doing this.
I mean, I definitely feel like, we already said he got what he deserved, but just based off the evidence, in my opinion, it didn't call for the sentencing that he got or the verdict that he got. They didn't, in my mind, prove beyond reasonable doubt that is actually what happened. And it's kind of strange to me seeing them like be guilty on all counts. So yeah, I just felt like they're like, fuck this dude, like he crazy as hell. Like we ain't even gonna like really consider it too much. Like it's enough. He put out enough of a negative image to just feel like, man, fuck this guy. Like it wasn't hard to like say that, So
yeah,
I get.
Yeah, people said, well, he should have saved them PPP loans. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, like he had plenty of money that came through there, and there were times when we told him, like, look, you're gonna have to you should save you should save. You want to hit it? You should save your money. We would tell him to manage your money more. And this is mosquitoes. And he just wanted to spend it. And then when it count, he don't got the money. Hey, you get what you deserve. That's the motto, y'all. You get what you deserve. And yeah, this case was too much just for how they handled it. It was just too much. And they're not going to do that research. They're not going to go back and look at all those videos.
Yeah, I wonder if the jury's...
They're not going to do all that.
I wonder if the jury's going to go and look at like her police interview and some of the things that they didn't play in the court, which I thought was so weird. Like I just felt like the state had like all the cards on their deck, on their hand, or whatever.
Hold on, I'm trying to let this person in, but it's not letting you in.
Idle Gardner.
Yeah, we try to let you in, Idle Gardner. Okay, all right. You're unable to join Idle, so it's you, not us.
Hey, but I will say, Nature Boy lived an extraordinary life, and for the experiences that he had, the women that he had, the money that came to him, the people that he had serving him, he lived more in the 40 years outside here in the world than most people do in 5 lifetimes. So from that side, I'm like, bro, you could rest easy knowing like you squeezed the juice out of life while you were a free man.
He sure enough did. Y'all, Instagram's acting a little janky. Yeah, okay, there you go. It's like it's not letting us see the comments, and yeah. Art Hurley said he lived a full. He sure enough did. That's why he had so many men's respect and that followed him, because he was being what y'all think about internally.
Yeah. Like he was the outward manifestation of like the wild masculine spirit that don't give a fuck, that's gonna conquer, that's gonna do whatever they can to like have what they want, like have the women they want. Like he was just that wild spirit, and I think he undomesticated himself like mentally, and the world don't like that. Obviously the system was like, fuck that, bro, you out of hand. But if he would have been off in the cut, I think people would have been more forgiving. But he just came back to Babylon, as you say, and try to do it there, and like he wasn't really living by the principles or the tenets that he was supposedly preaching about in terms of getting back to nature and all those things. Like that wasn't really his focus of, as far as his lifestyle.
Yeah, somebody said life in jail is excessive though. 10 years would have been okay. Yeah, I think that for people that murder people don't even get this type of sentence. People that molest children don't even get this type of sentence.
Right.
So that lets you know when it comes down to this type of stuff, and you a black person, I definitely know because he black. It's because he black, and he better be glad there wasn't no white people in that. Okay, that's why they didn't really care about the case, because it wasn't no white people. They didn't care about no black woman allegedly. Now it's not alleged that got violated. Like they don't care about that stuff. But if it was a white woman, a black man, and that case would have been totally different. But still, life for that, like they don't play. They don't play about that. They don't play about cults. And then yeah, they don't play about he was not invincible as he thought in his head. But you know what, y'all? This is the end, but it ain't over.
They said he can't appeal.
No, she said he got 30 days to appeal.
Someone said they said he can't appeal.
Why? That's not what we heard. That's not what we heard from
the judge said that?
Yeah, the judge said you got 30 days to appeal. And that's what I don't know if they changed their mind unless the person is watching it now and then you literally heard the judge say that. But when I was listening to it, the judge says you had 30 days to appeal. And but he better not get on the internet. He better not talk to no followers. They better not see that, because if they do, they're gonna add more to that.
And on top of that, he got the other case with the drone still going.
He still got that.
It's just like, it's a mess.
Somebody said he'll be on Big O tonight. Oh, Fire Priestess said the judge did say that. Yeah, because I could be wrong, but that's what I thought I heard. I mean, it's pretty clear. She said 30 days. So if she would have said no appeal, she said no appeal, but I heard you got 30 days to do that. And so, yeah. Yeah, y'all. Yeah. Yeah. I know this is bittersweet. This is bittersweet, right? It's bitter. It's bittersweet. It's over. It's. I mean, as far as the whole carbonation series, like, you know what I mean? Like it really is over. Now I'm not talking about any shenanigans that might pop off because he do have 30 days. But
you really have to understand the system, you know, like that's the thing this whole thing taught me, like watching the trial and how they operate. Like it's really like set in stone. And the good thing about that is if you could learn it, then you could know exactly what your outcome is going to be based off of like how the system operates, you know. And so it's like most of us, especially back to nature people, nobody ever wants to learn about the system and the laws and even like finances and all this shit. Everything played a role that was in the system, because, you know, plenty of celebrities get accused of rape, but because they have enough money, they can pay off the person accusing them, or they can hire really good lawyers. So really, you know, when it comes to the court system, it's also intertwined with like the financial system. So you need to understand the financial system, and you need to understand the legal system, you know. And so if you're going to operate within the constraint of Babylon, of the system, like you just don't play that. Like it's stupid. Like you just have plenty of examples of what that has done to not know and understand the system, that it just doesn't make sense at this point.
And it's interesting how when we talk about the R word, it's interesting how everybody got different views on that. Like, you know, some people say it's about context and relation, you know, but at the end of the day, the law is the law. You know, the law is the law. It doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. It doesn't matter if the woman, she butt naked in the bed, about to do it.
It don't matter if your dick is inside of her.
It don't matter if it's inside. If she said no, hey, I didn't make the laws. Okay, and it makes me think, if you're going to be a part of society, if you're going to be a part of Babylon, you better know these laws and you better act according to it. It's not about agreeing with them. It's about, this is what it is. And if you want to change it, well, go get into the government and be the one that makes these laws, because that's what it is. You know, that's what it is. And that's what can happen. And I heard a woman say, she was like, if I tell you no on Tuesday, and if you try to, you know, do it on Wednesday, it can still be no, or you could still be pressuring me because I already told you it's crazy. It's so many variables when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, men don't be fooling with them women that be like, no, and she's run away. Don't you have in your head? No, she really mean yes. No. And I'm definitely going to teach our son. Don't you dare. I'm going to tell him about the law. I am not going to teach my son that he is a victim of anything. I'm going to make sure he's empowered and he's going to take responsibility for anything that he chooses to do. I'm not going to ever make him feel like, well, that's what you wanted to do. We're going to do our best to equip him how life works, but there's going to be some things he's going to have to learn on his own because he is a Scorpio with a moon in Aquarius. He already fixed on how he see things, but make this a lesson for you. Okay? Yeah. Clearly everybody else there, they didn't know. Okay? They didn't know, they didn't have no free will. They just, okay, well, that's them. But moving forward, make sure yourself or your children are equipped to handle these types of situations. So if they do get in it, they know how to move or prevent them from getting in them at all. I think we all can agree to that. And some of you don't have to. But the serious, like now what? Moving forward. Now what you gonna do? Because I would have never thought in a million years I would have found myself in a situation like this, but I did. I wasn't even on a trajectory of doing something like that. I was in the corporate world working, I'm a grown-ass woman, and I found myself in something like this. But going back and looking at my life, I'm like, okay, I can see how I was able to attract something and why it was a yes for me just based on my childhood and what I was exposed to, but nothing this extreme, like nothing. So it can happen to anyone, but because you are the viewer, you are the observer, this is your lesson. We are your lesson. So you don't have to go through this. So you don't have to learn. See, me and Quetzal, we were smart. Okay. But now when we went into it, we were smart. But when we left, we became wise because we had to really learn now. And so you got an opportunity to look at a situation like this and really see it, but apply it to yourself. Don't just say, oh, that's them. No, I'm sure you resonated with somebody in the cult. And just think, but that could have been you, but it wasn't. That person played that part for you. So looking at how they move, how would you move? How would you have done it? What would you do moving forward? That's how you want to look at it. It's a lesson. All of this is a lesson for all of us. Yeah. It's a lesson.
Yeah. Even when I think about Nature Boy, like I don't even look at him as like you couldn't really connect with him as a real person. So it was almost like it feels like he was almost just a like I keep saying, like catalyst. Like he was like almost this program that came into our reality for a purpose and a reason. Like it wasn't so that you can fall in love with him, or so that he can be your friend or your homie, or so that you can, make him be accountable for his actions. Like, nah, like that that wasn't even his purpose to like come and have that kind of relationship with the world or with people of carbonation. He just came to summon things out of people, to show people themselves, to show the world themselves, to basically shine the light on humanity. Like look at what y'all do, and y'all can blame me all you want, but I'm gonna be in jail, and keep observing your life. If you keep those same thoughts, keep that same mindset, keep observing your life.
I mean, in hindsight, yeah, that's what he was. But in the forefront, he was portraying like he was our friend, our homie, our lover. He was portraying that. He was presenting himself in a way you needed to see it. You know, times that you spoke to, he's like, you my friend,
I never felt like we were close.
And,
like,
and you told him that,
yeah,
I never felt you was my friend at all.
Yeah, I never felt that way because I have friendships and stuff, and like just there wasn't any reciprocal connection of energy of like when you talking and like you can see like and feel that, oh, this person actually sees me as a human being that they are in relationship to. Like that was non-existent.
Yeah, and a lot of those women, including myself, we shared a similar wound, like that father wound. You know what I mean? Like we all came from some form of dysfunction. Like a lot of the women didn't have dads, and they did have dads, but it's this dysfunction. Like so, he played that role. He played that role for a lot of women to be their daddy, to be their lover, and so Eric said, I'm trying to like get Eric. Said, so what this meant for another person that want to live holistic lifestyle and they just so happen to believe in polygamy, will they automatically be deemed as a cult?
Yeah, this is a big lesson for anybody who wants to create anything, whether you're calling it a community or whatever you're calling it. Like, I think that this is a big lesson on how to move and how to present yourself and what to know, obviously when it comes to the law, because the word, and that's why like they asked me on a panel yesterday, was carbonation a cult? And I kind of hesitated because if I say the word cult, like a lot of people have a certain perception of the word cult that is negative. And for me, I don't necessarily see the word cult as negative. I think the negative thing about a lot of cults is that people don't voice their actual thoughts. They go against, they create actions that go against themselves. But if a cult is just like an alternative lifestyle or something that is a culture aside from the dominant culture of the world, I don't think that that's necessarily wrong. Obviously it depends whose definition you use as far as the authoritative leader. But I think that for me, like I think about it more so going back to the truly tribal origins of like having council and every person is sovereign, yet we still elect leadership based off of competence.
Peace.
Hey.
Hi there. So first I want to ask, well, what was the verdict? Because that makes a difference right there.
Guilty on all counts. And he got life with no parole with an additional 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Guilty on all counts.
And the judge said, because we watched it live, the judge said that she would have showed him a little bit of remorse, but while the witnesses were giving their last statement, he was sitting there laughing, talking the whole time. And then when it was his turn to give his final statement, he was just saying stuff, and the judge kept telling him to be quiet. He was trying to talk directly to them, and she wanted him to talk to her. He didn't show no remorse or anything. And she said because of that, that is why he's getting the full max on max on max.
Did you say life?
Life with no chance of parole and an additional 10 years just in case you live past life.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want an opinion?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. This is what this is. This is you to share your perspective on it. It's not about, oh, you gotta agree. Nah, people come on here and share what they think.
Well, okay, I'm an older person, okay, and I've seen a little bit. I'm almost 70, and I was in the 70s, the movement of the 70s, and I'm a historian as well. And I think that his techniques or how he presented himself on social media might not have been the best, but my vibrational energy was attracted to him. And I listened to the things that he was saying. And I was in agreement because I was getting some of those downloads too. So for me, this is a tragic answer. And what the implications of this will be for anybody, but especially Black men, is horrific. Okay, it's horrific. No, they did not prove without a reasonable doubt that he was guilty. They railroaded the people who the people who wanted to defend him. They gave them 1 day, and every time they tried to say something, they would cut it off. So it's almost like he was guilty before they already started, and they judged his character and how he presented himself, which we all have problems with at different times. But his basic intent was to lift up Black humanity, to bring light and to help people to question. And he did use drama to do it. I saw the dramatization. He did have a lot of haters, but I feel his intent was good. And I think he would have learned from this if he was found innocent, and his approach would have been different. He truly was a leader, and he did abuse his power. We saw that. But when you think about where he came from and what he rose to be and how he helped people and traveled and exposed them to lifestyles that they had never experienced before, I think that was a good thing. The rape thing, I don't buy it. I just feel that everybody wanted to be his wife. And you did have free will. I feel if you locked him up, locked up all the members, because you had free will. You can't say everybody was brainwashed by this experience. I just can't buy that. And so it's unfortunate, but I think it's a statement that he's a Black man. I'm gonna say that straight up. To give him life and no option for parole, it's wrong. But a lot of people will be happy today, but I will stand by it was a wrong judgment. And we will see what happens in the future when someone wants to step out of the socialization in this system that we know is corrupt, if you know your history. And if they step out and to be called a cult, I've always said America's a cult. Because, Americans came from England to do something different, and they were rebelling against the cult, so-called, but the English monarchy, and they came here to do something different. So you could have called that a cult. But as they described it, your group said, we're a tribe, and we are people who come from tribes, and we have our different ways to express ourselves. So, no, I think it's tragic. And I feel his defense lawyer, Booker, was excellent in the end, but I feel he was already made guilty because he didn't follow the yellow brick road, and he did everything in a very different type of way. And I'm a different type of person, so I would be guilty too. So it's horrible. I don't feel he deserved life and no parole. That's wicked. And that's what they do to people who are free thinkers, who want to do something different. So all those people who were against him, just watch what happens in America from this point on. And I hope you're happy. I hope everybody's happy with that, who hated him, because it's not good that this could happen with the evidence that they presented, and that any woman can just call rape, and she didn't go to the doctors and no samples of anything, and she loved him one day and hated him the next day. It's not right. They judged his character because he was strong enough to stand up for something. Because nobody's trying to stand up for nobody. They want us all to be robots in control. And he stood up. And as I said, the way he did it might have been a little aggressive, or a little foul, but the world is pretty foul today anyway. Anything can be said. So he just mimicked the world, and he was a mirror for everybody. So it's a tragedy. But what can you say? It was what it was. That's what I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you feel the way a lot of people feel. I've been seeing a lot of comments, and people are saying, I don't like Nature Boy, but he doesn't deserve this. There's so many people say, I don't like him, I can't stand him, but he does not deserve this. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That they played up on his character, but they didn't play up on the character of everyone else. That's what was missing. Like, let's look at all the characters, like not just his character, but look at everybody's character and how they played a role. And I think that's why so many people feel the way that they feel, because they saw how these people were acting while they were there, the things that they were doing. And now that he got caught up, now everybody's like, oh, I had anything to do with it. I didn't know. It wasn't me. And I feel like people just don't believe that. I think a lot of you say, I do not buy that. That's why y'all like, no, they need to be held accountable too.
Absolutely. And guess what? They're going to be held accountable because all those free thinkers, as this system gets tighter and tighter economically and so many other ways, they're going to come for other people as well who don't follow, line up with the yellow brick road. So this is a statement that the American government is making, particularly for Black people, but it's not just Black people, it's whoever thinks differently, but especially us because we know our history. And so this is horrible, horrible. And so I hope they appeal it. And it's just sad. Unless you know, don't go no government to solve your problems. It's like crabs in a barrel. When you try to rise and do something different, they pull you down. This could have been dealt with in-house. That girl did not have to call that rape, but everybody's going to be calling rape right now. But you're going to be held accountable, and there's karma, and there's energy, and there is a creator above that sees everything. So let's just see how it plays out. But I don't agree. I think it's tragic. And I was saying all along, free Nature Boy, or if he's guilty, everybody's, I'm guilty too for watching it. It was entertainment. We're so bored with this system that we live in that tries to control us at 9 to 5, and we slaves all the time. Hello? You can't afford housing. You can't afford to eat. They put chemicals in our foods, chemtrails in the air, etc., on and on and on. I'm an educator, and it ain't about really teaching the students, it's about dumbing them down. But let's see what happens. So all those people who were against him, let's see how it plays out when they start knocking on their door. Okay, he didn't deserve life. 5 years, 10 years, life. There, that's a statement. Don't be a strong person, but don't definitely be no strong Black man, and don't try nothing different. Follow the yellow brick road, or else. Democracy ain't no democracy here. Put Trump in jail. What happened? Put all the white slave owners that raped all of us. We all are a product of rape. I get my skin color. My great grandfather was white. So put all the, when we gonna have justice for them? All the people just raped us for 400 years. When we gonna put them in jail? We don't, because the rules just bend for whoever wants them to be bent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But to be fair, do you think, because you said it's their karma, but to be fair, do you think this is his karma?
I think he's an amazing being, and he will go to jail and revolutionize the prisoners because we all receive energy, okay? But he's connected, and I'm connected. And I felt the other day, I said, his home, he will be at home wherever he is, and he'll turn whatever situation he's in to a victorious situation.
Yeah.
And so our Most High Creator has given him to the prison system because a whole lot of people are in there that maybe shouldn't be in there, or the circumstances that are created for the people are in such a way that you can't even rise up of the poverty or what sets you up for crime. And so they're ending up in there. So he'll do well. Yeah, when you get to a certain point, you can live anywhere on the earth and do well. And we're all just here for a short period of time anyway. So it was a wonderful experience just to experience the members talking and just the whole judicial system and how it works. And I really thought he was going to be proven innocent. I really believe with all my heart. I've been watching it every day, and I said, it's obvious. But,
Yeah.
like, just
Yeah. They're definitely. Now,
with yours.
Oh, it's breaking up. Now, well, if you think she's talking too long, Lottie, why don't you come on camera and give your perspective? Oh, she's talking too long. Come on and you speak. Shoot. But back in the 70s, did they have these type of movements too? Did you see like cults and people making movements like you saw with carbonation?
Absolutely. We had a spiritual movement going on. The spiritual teachers from India came over, and they had like meditation revolutions rather. We gathered, we meditated, we chanted, we did all the practices that was not part of Christianity. You know, it was an alternative way of living. When the whole vegetarian or conscious movement for eating came on, that was a movement. I lived at Hippocrates Health Institute where they were healing people of cancer and diseases when the hospitals had cut them up, and then they healed them with raw foods, wheatgrass juice. That would have been called a cult. Okay, and a white woman, a German woman, Ann Wigmore was doing, but I was involved in all the cult movements. We didn't call them cults back then. We called it alternative movements, alternative society. We had different names. But then we did have some crazy people who, like the Jim Jones, but my understanding was that the United States government was behind Jim Jones. I'm not going to say no more than that. We all got passed a document that told the truth of what that was all about. But they did that on purpose. So they could hold that as, yes, we had Jim Jones and the people drank the Kool-Aid, but the government was behind that, okay? I was there at that time. And when they put heroin into the bodies of all those people, I don't have no evidence or proof. And then all of a sudden you saw heroin going up in the United States at a certain time. Because who lets the drugs into our system in the first place but the government? Okay, so it's all a setup to make you hush up, to silence you, to make you a robot, and not be able to have freedom of speech like this country stood upon. So, yeah, I'm used to those. That's why I was attracted to him, because I was all about those movements. I questioned the society, the white picket fence and working 9 to 5. I didn't want no 9 to 5. I'm working one now. But I wanted to live life and experience life and experience different things and try different things. And I went for it. And at some point, yeah, I had my children. I had to take care of them. But I came to Hawaii to do it in an alternative type of way, too. So I vibe with him, because I was from that time in the 60s, the feminist movement, the spiritual movement, all the different groups that were saying, hey, we're not buying this. So it's okay.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. We got other people on the camera as well that want to talk, but we appreciate your wisdom.
Yeah, and I appreciate you doing this so that the voice can be heard. And so I just keep him in the light.
Yeah.
And I just feel he will time in prison. Because we all are in prison. Let's get with it. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
For some of you that have been following us, since we left, I don't know if you recognize the lady that just spoke, but she actually was someone that helped us when we were in Hawaii. And you see how passionate she is. So I think like people like Miss Eternity and our friends Adonis and Asia, we had people in our life once we left empower us. And you see, there ain't no victimization going on over there. Yeah. She celebrated what we went through, and she was there for us when we were homeless and taking us from different places. But she really celebrated our experience, and she was also pushing us forward to start a new life.
Damn,
so
I didn't even think about that. Like I'm grateful like that the people that we just kept running into, nobody was victimizing us. Like everybody was really like lifting us up, and even like almost kind of like, acknowledging like, hey, that was admirable, almost like what you went through, what you did, and what you believe in it, and the mission that you were a part of. And yeah, that's I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we really were fortunate when we left not to go back to our families or our old life and came to Hawaii, and we were willing to keep going and keep the movement inside of us, even if that meant for us to be homeless. We were not willing to give up, and because of the faith that we had, not in Nature Boy, but the faith in what we had and what we were doing, what we believed, we just kept being fortunate and having people to help us along the way. Now, granted, we were out here homeless, but that was a part of getting what we deserved. And because we wasn't going to be no victims and cry back to our mamas or get online to expose anybody to make money, even through the hardest point in my life, I still was able to overcome it. And I'm telling you, y'all, it was not easy. Every time I was about to give up and get to the edge and wanted to call one of my family members to come and get me because I was not about to deal with Quetzal, what was going on, the doors opened up. And I believe that Miss Eternity, she was an angel on our path because she did something for someone. She treated us like family, and we did not know her. And she helped us, bought clothes for the baby. She gave us a place to stay for a little bit, but where she lived, we couldn't live with her. She drove us everywhere trying to find this place, getting us food. Like, she helped us. Like, it's like the woman Underground Railroad. She helped us,
Harry Tubman.
Harry Tubman. Like, she helped us. I know that's a stretch. But she helped us like keep going. She helped us to keep going and fight that fight, not with Nature Boy, but the internal fight within ourselves. And and that's what I want for everyone involved, is that the fight is not with Nature Boy. The fight is with yourself, with all of y'all. It's the internal fight within yourself that you got to get up every day and keep going. Yeah, we can blame the white man, we can blame the system, we can blame whoever, but it's that fight within yourself that you got to get up and overcome. And I think this is what it represents for me, and why I get emotional, and why I have the stance that I have, because I get it. I get it. I see it. I see it as a spiritual warfare, not me against them, but me against myself, and it's unfortunate that everybody didn't get that. Everybody ain't going to see it that way. And I'm not going to bully them into seeing it my way, because that's their experience. That's their karma. It's my experience. It's my karma. That was my karma too. And I'm just so thankful for everybody that was there and continue to encourage me, because I'm so glad I didn't have people around me making me a victim, making me feel small, making me feel like I gotta fight and bring somebody. I'm so glad, because now I see where I am and what I have. I'm so thankful and appreciative. And that's why I'm coming out and talking to you guys at this moment, because I didn't use my voice all the time. I didn't say it how I wanted to say it a lot of times. I kept my mouth shut. But now this is the moment that you can correct your wrong. So even though they said, well, I was there, I couldn't speak up. Well, for them going to court, that was their way of speaking up. That was their way of standing up for what they think was right. And this is my way of standing up what I think is right. There ain't no victims. We all wrong. I ain't victim blaming, because I don't see no victims. I don't see it. I don't see it in Nature Boy. I don't see it in the rest of them. I don't see no victims. So that's why I can stand here proud and loud, like, nah, y'all wrong, until you get right within. Now, it's unfortunate that happened. It's unfortunate on both sides, but hey, when you do certain things, you're going to pay certain consequences. And I hope, go ahead. I can talk about this.
Yeah, I was going to say, I also have like a certain level of compassion, because I understand it was easy when we left to like have some resentment towards Nature Boy. For me, like I was going down that path, yeah. I was going down that path of like having those negative emotions for him. But just because we left together and we had a relationship, there was like a lot of conversations that we had, and the people that we met after we left that didn't put us in that victim mindset or position. It really helped and paved the way for me to have the understanding that I have today, and to not feel anything towards him. I feel, compassion towards him just as much as I feel compassion towards them. And whatever emotion that I give to them, I have to give to him. But as far as like feeling animosity or anger or resentment, like I don't feel that for him. Like I don't even relate to him in that way. And so I'm grateful too that that the set of circumstances that allowed me to leave paved the way for me to be able to receive a mindset that is empowering.
Yeah, definitely. Let me get this. Okay, we see y'all. Okay, so let's see. Ah, man.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
No.
Yeah. We can hear you.
Oh, there you
can? Okay. So this is my first time ever being on live or even commenting, because
good for you.
Let me tell you, Grace, I have watched you since jail in Costa Rica, and I've been there since then. I've been in the background just watching the entire thing.
Now they come into the forefront.
Wow.
Okay, so like I was sitting there thinking like this is such a polarizing like experience to watch it. And you're right. I watched your live from 2 days ago, and just the lessons, like I learned a lot from y'all. Even if I cannot stand Nature Boy, I cannot stand his ass. Okay. I was like, oh, he evil, pack him up out of here. However, I was like, yo, like the lesson I learned was like I'm a loner, And I was like, damn, that could have been me. Like, wanting to belong, wanting to be a part of something where I have a family. And I do have family, but like, even with having family, there's a sense of disconnect that we can have. And to watch how you can go from a journey and it takes you to a place where you're like, wow, how the fuck did I get here? But I'm here with these people and we're doing this thing and we're living this life together online. And I've never seen anything like it before. So when you were talking about circling back, like this is the cycle that's ending, and to see like how far you've came, I'm really proud of you. Like, I'm proud of how far you've come, and like just finding the lessons, applying them, whether he's out of jail or not, in jail. I'm just glad that you found the positive, and it makes me look at my own life like, okay, I don't have to be a victim of certain situations. I can learn from it and I can apply better lessons. And I just hope that if I'm moving out here in this world, I hope to leave it a better place. And I feel like you guys have definitely done that, even in the weirdest way possible, because there's some people out there like me who can end up in these situations and not learn. Like,
It went out and it came back.
okay, it was my alarm. But I'm just saying that, I don't have anything crazy to add. It's just that just to watch from the beginning to this and to cycle around, I just want to send y'all love. And yeah, that's all I really have to say.
Man, girl, this makes me happy because you said when we was in jail.
In jail. I was like, what are these crazy people doing? What the hell is going on here? And I was joking about it. At first, I was like, they said they're the citizens of the world. What the hell is going on? Who are these people? And it's funny because that's my introduction. Like, I was not introduced like through Nature Boy. Like, I'm the live, you guys sitting in the cell, that was my intro right there. That's my introduction. So I was looking at like, yes, he was like the main character, but the lens was the people around. Like, how did you guys get here? And to continue to fight forward, to push through certain beliefs, to break certain beliefs. Like, that's the part that stood out to me the most. And I'm glad, like you said, although like you have your opinion on like, people are not victims, but you were like, yeah, people finally maybe had the chance to stick up for themselves, even in court. I've been watching the people around. So although he has been like, the player of the chess piece, you guys were definitely the most polarizing to me out of the whole situation. Yeah. So I just want to send y'all love, and it's love for everybody, honestly. Not Nature Boy, I'm not gonna lie, I just can't. And I don't have the heart. It's not in my heart. I'm not even gonna fake. It's just not in my heart. I'm just like, it is what it is. You win, you play stupid game, you win stupid prizes. America to me is, when it comes to the law, is circumstantial. Whether we find it fair or not, you knew that game and you kept talking about it and you kept playing it, and that's just what it's gonna be. You knew what it was. You kept talking about it. You was like the system, the Babylon, whatever. And then out of all places, you chose that Babylon. Okay, right. Here we are now.
She said you chose that Babylon.
You chose that Babylon. You wanted to play them games. You thought it was safe. You thought it was finna be a sweet. You thought it was a breeze. That's just what it comes with, unfortunately. And I don't think they were going to play fair, because you knew they weren't going to play fair. You knew that. And that's just what it is. But I'm just glad, it's come to an end. I do feel like there's going to be some subsectors that continues on through this journey. But yeah, for the most part. And that's all I wanted to say.
Well, we appreciate that. And this is what primarily this movement was all about, is us coming together, using social media as a platform to speak our truth, to show who we really are. And I am very proud of you. You should be proud of yourself that you decided to come on camera today and talk with people that sit here and watch and have their little stuff they want to say, but would never show their face. That will never.
And I was one of them. I watched the whole time. I didn't say anything. I was at work watching it. I was telling people about it, and it actually got me into like how cults are formed. I started watching other cults, and I was like, okay, like this is really something that's, you know, a big thing in this world. And I just feel like it's about people who want to be a part of something, and it's just I feel like anybody is capable of joining. It's no one's above it. You just don't know till you there. So that's just how I look at it.
Like, why are people looking for this? You know, and I think there's a big question we could all ponder on. Like, people feel like there's something missing, you know, and I think there is something missing, and I think that the people have every right to look for that. But I think we demonize it because it doesn't fit the narrative of what we've been given, and so whenever every time you try to do something alternative, it's
Right.
like question. But it's like, nah, people aren't happy in this fucking system, bro. People aren't satisfied with the reality that they were born into. Let them search for what they're looking for. And
Right.
there's going to be cases where it doesn't manifest the best, but still, it's like something longing within the spirit that's searching for something that we haven't had for a while, which might be the community, the tribe, the whatever you want to call it. And we're figuring it out. We're figuring it out, and we're moving towards it, you know. But it's just gonna it's gonna happen the way it happens.
That's a fact.
Exactly. And I also feel like even playing in the system, like being in the system, I feel like even then there are sub sectors of places where you go to find that belonging. So that's why I always feel like no one is above joining a cult, so to speak, right? People do it in fan bases, people do it in schools, people do it in their communities. It's just a different way, and it's just maybe in a sense that people are not used to seeing it because it's something that, you know, brings on a new set of ideas that even in the system, when we do join these cultures, we do join these places, we do join these clubs, it's something that's not something that people are not used to, is what I can say about that. So but yeah, that's all I have to say, and thank you for letting me join, and I wish you all the best.
I wish
Thank
you
you.
will too.
Bye.
Thanks for coming on.
I had to be a mama real quick, then came outside.
All right, stand ups.
Oh, you boo. You want me to switch? You want to send this one, on that one? Okay, we'll take one more person. Yeah, like I definitely feel a lot better now that I come on here talking to you guys. With me and Quetzal, it's just like, whoa. But I feel good talking to y'all. Yeah.
So,
Hey.
hi. So, I never got on any live that nature. I've been following y'all since y'all was in the cult or whatever. And all these years, I never went live with him or with you guys or anybody else. So, this is a little weird for me. So, I'm not getting all the way on camera. But I am going to say I watched you guys with, what's her name? Neek at night.
Yeah.
The other day. And I kind of agree with y'all with, like, you know, if you don't take accountability and set boundaries and standards for yourself, that even though they're saying bad guy down, you know, nature boys down, if you carry that same energy and that same spirit and the same ways and the same thought process, it's going to be another nature boy in your life. So I wanted to acknowledge that you guys said that, and I totally agree with that. And I also agree with when you said you get what you get. And I think today it wasn't in our hands. No matter secretly if somebody wanted him to get convicted or not, he got what was out there for him to get. No, you know, no matter what. So like, I don't know. I was sitting in here like shocked. Like, I never thought he was gonna get that kind of time or whatever. Even though he might appeal it, even if they break it in half, you're still going for a long time because he destroyed a lot of people's lives. A lot of people's lives. So he has to pay for that. And then they have to also acknowledge what part of them got them in the hands of people like Nature Boy, not just him in the flesh. So that's all I want to say.
Yeah. 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 Thank you for sharing that. And that's the thing that I think this is also expanding our awareness to, as not just Black people, but mostly Black people, but anybody that's watching, is that we're able to see the difference. We're able to, it's tapping us back into our spirituality.
Okay.
But now we are having to really face that. Like, you can't just say that you're one thing and then you're doing another thing. It's like, yeah, it's just really eye-opening to us in really wanting to believe that we could do something different and make a difference. But even with Nature Boy, it's so many angles. I can't. It's just not one way. But in one angle, it's like he got in his own way.
Yeah.
And the only reason why he is where he's at is because of his lust. And this is something I told him directly on the phone. Yeah, I was like, it was your lust that got you put in jail.
I honestly think it's a combination of things.
But I'm talking
I don't think it's.
but what hit the nail on the head is that he could not let this girl go.
Right.
He couldn't. He would have let her go. She already told him in the beginning when she left the first time that she's gonna bring it down. She told us that, and she did.
She did.
When she first left, the first time I said, "This is wrong. This is not good." And I remember you was there.
I was trying to figure.
Oh, you
Listen,
saw?
I was trying to figure out why the last time that he let her back, because when she left, she talked about him so bad, and I was like, I know Nature Boy's smarter than that. Why he let that girl back? But the reason why he let her back was to sick Zolka against her. So if you remember, he wanted her to come back. He got Solar to entice her to come back, like he wanted to be with her, but he really wanted her and Zolka to fight, and then her to find that she didn't fit in with them and come back to him. He said it. Like he had a whole strategy behind it.
Damn.
He said it.
Now look at it.
Even if Nature Boy did 30 years in prison and came out, he would still let all those people back right away.
That's the weird part. He would let them all come back if they wanted to.
So what do you think do you think he has like a leg to stand on in terms of like a new trial or appeal?
But because of this case, who knows? We didn't think it would go this far.
I didn't.
Like,
life without parole, like. But you know what? The crazy part was when they were doing, and this is what was really hurtful to me, is when they did their victim impact statements and stuff. He was laughing like a wild hyena on camera, like. He was cracking up. He was leaning back in his seat. And the judge is like, you really don't have no remorse. These people are telling their story. They're crying, and you're laughing. You're cracking up. And then is outspoken as a person as he is, when he had a chance to speak and just maybe even a fake apology. Yeah. He's just like, I love y'all. I forgive y'all. Like he, they did him wrong. So now I forgive you for doing me wrong. It was outrageous. Like to be as outspoken as he is, I was expecting him to come up with some phony speech about how he's not really forgive them, but just something like, I'm sorry that these things happen or anything. He's just like, I love y'all, kiss the baby. Like, oh my God. I was not expecting that.
He was still,
and all of that laughing.
He was still playing the role, because to him, he just got crucified, and he was like, I still love you, like just like Jesus in the Bible, like forgive them, for they know not what they do. Like
what they do. Like, y'all just crucified me, but I still forgive you, because I am God after all. It was outrageous. Today I was like sitting on the edge of my damn recliner watching this whole thing. I really was. I don't like drink, but if I did, I would have me a bottle of champagne right now. I'm telling you, I promise you. But I kind of felt bad because, like, when he started laughing like that, I was like, he's even more sick than I actually thought he was. Like, as far as evilness, like you had 2 years to think outside of all of this about, hey, why am I here? How did I impact people in their future? And what, and he had time to think about that. He still was cracking up. Like he was at a Dave Chappelle show. Like he was cracking up. Like unbelievable. Yeah. So I don't know. I think he's going to try to appeal it. But then I thought, like, what resources does he have to appeal it? He lived off of other people's income for the last, 10 years. So, like, how's he coming up with money to pay an attorney for an appeal and to go to another trial or whatever, that would be. So I really was thinking about that.
Well, because this was so impactful and got attention from a lot of people, the way that we saw how Nature Boy worked are just how life worked for him. Let me say that. The way we saw how life worked for him, being in that situation, people came to him. Like, remember that one dude came over there and brought him $300,000.
Oh yeah, you know what? He might still have some of that money.
Well, no. That's not what I'm getting at. He don't got nothing. He don't have nothing.
You sure?
That money was gone in 2017. Like, that money
I don't believe that. You know what? I thought about that too. I'm like, out of that $300,000 that it was the guy's from his mother passing away, the insurance money or whatever. I was thinking Nature Boy probably stashed some of that money for. No.
No, let me get to my point. He has none of that money that he got at all because they spent it all. But what I'm getting at is the way Nature Boy's life works, like how we saw it. Miracles happen for this dude. Like I was saying, so dude,
a miracle happened today.
He decided to leave and go to Honduras, and then a young boy met him at the airport that he didn't know, and that was Flo. And they went, and the whole time Flo was sitting up all that money. So, and then throughout the years, people came, like with Musa, he came and he had the same situation like Flo, where somebody died and gave him an inheritance money, and so he had money through that. And different people coming with certain amount of income. And I remember when we got out of jail and they deported us back to the States, the first time ever, I remember it was this white couple was sending him like thousands of dollars. Like, it's like, the Senate, whatever you need, we'll send you the money. So what I'm saying is the way his life works sometimes, is that if it's for him to go through this process of going to completely life to shock the world or to shock whoever's looking, he's gonna hit someone to be like, nah, this isn't right, this isn't fair. I gotta get the money. That's how I could see it turning around. That somebody is like, nah, not another black man going down for something he didn't do. You know what I mean? That sometimes that happens for him. It's just like out of nowhere. People just
I see that. I see that, but in the same token, like a lot of people who started following him years ago, he was a whole different character. Yeah. So back at the time when Flo gave him that money and all them other people, maybe this white person was giving him thousands of dollars. He was this wholesome, allegedly, this wholesome, natural, I eat vegan and I live off the land. But he's evolved over the years.
Yeah.
So who in their right mind, now with those kind of resources is going to be like, oh yeah, let me help him get off, this. So I can see if this was like 6 years ago when everybody was feeding into the holistic living and the B6 diet and living in nature and grounding and all that stuff. But he used that as a platform to suck people in and then turn into who he eventually was. So at this point, I don't think nobody's going to be like, let me just give him all this money.
Yeah.
And I don't think Booker is working for free, So.
Yeah. And African Barbie said, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what people, you'd be surprised because there are people that's but hurt about what he got. I mean, we think it's harsh.
I do too.
He was going to go to jail. Like, I was like, oh no, he ain't about to just get acquitted. I knew that, but I didn't know to this extreme. And there are people out there, oh, he don't deserve none of that. So you just never know who's out there watching and who's here to like help you in your life. You just never know.
That's possible.
But we'll stay tuned, won't we?
Definitely. I think, definitely, because I know this isn't the end of it. And I think that's why he was laughing so hard, because he's probably thinking, okay, say whatever y'all want. I'm making a comeback after this, knowing how arrogant he is, But it was outrageous. Like, I was like choked up in here. I was like, I can't believe this. I didn't think he was going to get life without parole. It's people that killed people. But I think they looked at it as more than that, how much control he had over people's lives and how he just destroyed people, people who aren't strong enough to overcome that. And sometimes it might take years to come for some of them people. And look at the people who are still on his side, like Aya and what's the other girls? You know what I'm talking about, Zoka. I think she's in jail. But the people that's still on his side, it's going to take them a long time before they give up. They're going to wait for he exhausts all his appeals, and he might be in prison for another 5 more years before they be like, okay, time to fold up and live a real life because he's not coming back, Yeah. So, yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen to the 3 ladies? I might even reach out to all 3 of them.
There ain't no helping them. Do you think it's some helping them?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just reaching out to them because I knew Aya. Like, and I talked to them like while this was happening, but I'm not making them feel bad for their choice. It's their choice. It's
No, yeah.
like that's what you want to do, girl. But I just hope that they will be able to move forward, whatever that looks like for them. I hope that they know that they had a good fight. They did their best with what they was working with, and they were the ones that stayed the most committed out of everybody, regardless of the facts. So I just hope that they can move with that energy on, and and just keep going. I hope it's nothing fatal and nothing crazy. Hope they don't do nothing crazy. Like, come on now.
They might jump off a building, something.
Yeah.
Thinking it. But I think more so than anything, I think that they're gonna hold out faith that he's gonna appeal, and we're just gonna wait to see what happens after this appeal. Like, I can see them doing it. If they had every opportunity to live their life in the last 2 years, so and they didn't take those opportunities because they probably felt like, okay, this is eventually going to go to trial and he's going to get out and he's going to be back with us. Yep. So now with the prospect of an appeal, I think they'll move forward with that. So I think it might be years for them. But maybe you can help them. So you know what? Reach out.
Yeah. All right. Oh, you wanted to?
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna say, like, real quick. I think also just them continuing to communicate with him. I think that's what allowed them to be outside and still kind of keep things going. And I don't know how the communication is going to be like. It goes to prison,
right?
So like that, I think that has a factor as well, because as long as they keep communicating with him, it's going to be really hard for them to see life in a different way.
See, I don't really know how that stuff works. So is it harder? Because they said, like, in the last week, he contacted them like 80 times. So I'm like, is prison different than jail in terms of, like, how often he would get to? I guess he'd get in a fight over the phone if he was holding the phone up like that in prison as opposed to jail. I don't know how that works, but I don't know. He might still be able to have communication with them just as much from prison as jail.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
Well, when you reach out with them, let us know. Like, if you're making any progress.
I'll go live and be on the phone with them so y'all can conversation. Stop it.
No, but I'm just saying, and just like if some progress happens, just be like, they're coming around, and
yeah.
That's
good to you for your first time. This is a good concept.
I know, and you know what? I just clicked and I saw you, and I was like, oh, I'm getting on here, and I'm like, I look crazy. So I ever imagined if I ever got on one of these lives, I would have looked like something first, but it's okay.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Huh?
So we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
All right.
Tori, I see you in the room. You want to come in? Because I know how you, I don't know how you feeling for everything, but I know that my messages, text ain't.
The other person not coming in?
Well, it wasn't working. Let me see that person can come in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Somebody said, don't hold your breath about the wives. Well,
Yeah.
I just know how it is when you are doing something that you're really dedicated about, and there's no reason for you to push against them or call them crazy. You're not helping. You're just not. All of us left when we wanted to leave or when we got kicked out. It's like when we got that, that's what, so you can't bash someone, and that's not going to help them decide to move on. It's just not, because I know when I left, it's because I decided to leave, not because, people were saying something. It was because I decided that was my opportunity to go. And
that's kind of how we carry people. Like, like you decide, you make decisions for yourself, and we respect and honor that, even if we don't agree with them,
Yeah. Creation Anise said, Grace is happy to start. Yeah, this is what it is. It's like this has gone on, like, this is 7 years. You might as well say 7 years. And when it comes to healing and transformation for any of you, it's going to take 7-year cycle. It's 7 years for you to fully be healed and transformed to whatever you went through. And it's funny because before all this happened, I was researching about this, and then just the way my life has moved, I'm like, man, I don't even want to use the word healing no more. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh, I could see why, because I've gotten through the deconditioning now. I'm stepping into who I really am, and I was able to like mend my broken heart of forgiveness. Like there's nobody in my heart that I have malice towards. I forgive everyone for anything they've ever done to me. Like I really feel that way, and I feel like I'm stepping into my power, and this is why I'm able to get on here and talk and say how I want to say, regardless of what anybody think, because that's who I am. I'm here to do that. And so it took me 7 years, y'all, 7 years for me to get here. It took me 7 years, so this is why I said this is the end. And so maybe that's why Nature Boy got the max on top of the max, because this has to end. And without any remorse in his heart and accountability, if he comes out, he's not going to end the cycle at his own detriment. Right. That cult, carbonation, melanation, whatever, that's it. That was what he was given, and he had a timeline with it, and he did what he could do with it, and he couldn't let it go. And this is what happened. He got put away for life, because that's it. And for the rest of us, that's it. That's it. And who you are after this cycle is who you've always been. So that's why I'm like, no, you're not victims. No, don't be a victim now. Because I see the power in you. I don't want you to walk out into this next cycle with that in your heart. Because you're just creating your next lifetime and your next situation. But hey, I can't make you do nothing you don't want to do. So that's you. That's your karma, not mine. But I just feel like within my own karma is to say it. To be it and say it. And then you can't say nobody didn't tell you. You can't say nobody didn't tell you. You want to listen to me. Let life tell you. But that's what's happening, y'all. For this, for us, and even where you are. Just think about when you started awakening and coming into your healing. How many years has it been? And you know where you're at and how long you have to go with it. Okay. I'm like, I don't know if I want that person, because I don't want no, because the beautiful thing about this is that that's Tori. Okay. The beautiful thing about this, and shout out to everyone that has commented, because I actually haven't experienced no trolls. Like, there's obviously y'all don't agree with everything, but I have, hey girl,
this shea butter. Hold on, let me rub this butter in on my face.
Yeah, girl. So you saw it, you heard it. Justice, you got justice.
And I was shocked by the life sentence. Like, I was like, damn. You should have took the plea deal. Like, he knew that going in, but I was just like, honestly, I was like, that's what happens when you have a lot of delusional people around you, though. Like, the same time too. Man, honestly, watching your lives has helped me a lot, because I had carried so much shame around this entire situation.
Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry.
No, don't cry. Don't cry. But I have, honestly, like, it had honestly choked up my voice so much. I didn't like coming online. I didn't like taking pictures. Like, I felt like I said, I carried so much shame from my experience. And that was honestly something that was used against me while I was there, was just like, you know what? No one's gonna fuck with you when you leave. No one's gonna respect you. People gonna think you crazy just because you was fucking with me. And, that's what was said to me, like, repeatedly. And I believed it for so long. And then when I got out, I tried to use my voice. I tried to express myself, but it like I said, I carried so much shame from it. And like, finally getting to this ending, I honestly feel like, okay, I have my voice back. Of course I've healed through other situations, but I feel like that was the main thing that was stagnating me in my journey and in my growth, was not being able to let go of that fear. So I thank you for thank y'all for like coming on camera and expressing yourselves on the situation, and just continuing to live your life and be free. Like, I guess that's as simply as I can put it. But yeah, man.
The thing that, and I'm going to cry, because this is our moment. this is our experience. And I first want to say I love you so much.
I love you too.
I remember you there. I remember you there. And you were so strong.
Aww.
And you remember that time where I was on the plank and they were going to send me home. You remember that? It was when we were the Go Out crew, and me and Quetzal had got into it, and I said I was going to call the police on him because I thought he was about to hit me. And I thought, I'm going to call the police. And you know, that's violation, carbonation. Like, you know, and they said they told me when we were 2 hours away from home that they kicked me out the group because that's a violation to call the police, you know, the whole rhetoric and stuff. And so I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, I'm already in the city, so I'm just going to have to figure it out. And so by that time I was feeling tormented because I was like, they said I had to leave, but then the next day he was like, no, bring her back. And I was just like, oh, shit. I said, they're about to torment me now. Because I was fine. I was already pregnant and everything. I was like, fine, gonna make me leave, fine. So when we get there, you remember where they had me sitting down and everybody saying their piece. And I'm sitting there like, you know, like feeling guilty because, you know, I said, called a man or whatever. But you were the only one. And this is why I said, not everybody was so brainwashed they couldn't say anything. You were the only one that called everybody out. You remember that? You called
a little bit.
I don't remember,
yeah,
I don't remember everything that you said, but I remember how you made me feel.
Yeah.
I remember how you made me feel. You was because you were saying, this ain't right. You say so, this ain't right. And y'all had the nerve to judge after everything that y'all was doing and y'all be doing. And he was like, well, what are you talking about? And then he was like, well, you call everybody out. And you did. You was calling everybody out. You even called him out for being fake and whatever. And I just remember, and of course you did get in trouble for that. Yeah. But because you said that, it kind of shifted the energy away from me, and then they started counting on you or whatever. But what I'm saying is that I know for a lot of people that hear that was like, that's wrong. But for me, it just showed me, even in the darkest moment, somebody got your back.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And for sure.
You did. You know what I mean? I remember the times where the women used to, you remember when you was the wife, and you remember when something going on with you in Velvet, and you just felt ostracized. And you remember I was sitting on the gazebo, and you came to me, he's like, can I talk to you? Because I just don't trust nobody, and I need to talk to you because you remember that?
I do. I remember I was just like, I don't know what it is about her, but I feel like I can trust her. I feel like I told you, I was like, I feel like you're the only one that I could come to that would give me a straight answer. I feel like if I would have went to anyone else, it would have been La La Land. It would have been like, what? Like, it would have just been regurgitated bullshit. It wouldn't have been coming from the heart. And I just remember coming up to you like, I know that I can trust you, and I know if I talk to you, I'm going to get a real answer.
Yes.
I'm going to get a genuine answer from your heart and not from somebody else's mouth. And yeah, I definitely remember that. I remember the first moment too. I just remember, I don't know. I honestly, I was scared because it was like I was like, what, my first week there too. I just remember sitting there. He was going around that circle, and then he came to me. He was like, what do you got to say? And I was just like, you know what? Send me home. She can stay. Send me home. Like, fuck this. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but yeah, it was too much. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And thank you for saying that. And I'm glad that we went through the experience together, and I'm glad that I did, make you feel like you did have somebody, even if it was just for that moment. Because you made me feel that way while I was there. Because honestly, I turned into a recluse. I felt so isolated, especially after you left, because I did always come to you. I did always look to you after those moments, and after y'all left, I was by myself. And I would try and have those moments with the other women, but because I was so outspoken, it became like, it became where it was pretty much taught like, you see how I'm going to treat her. If you want that same treatment, then go over there. But if you don't, you know to stay away from her. So after that, I was, like I said, I was isolated, and I just stayed in that space for a long time. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being you, and having the courage to speak out when you did too. And you were definitely a safe place for me while I was there, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I love you for saying that. I'm glad you said it, and I'm because you ain't gonna believe me, but I think that's the reason why I have this stance, because I was that person for most of them. I was even that person for Nature Boy. He would come to me seeking advice
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
hard work, and so that's why I'm saying I see you. I see you. I know what you was doing, Kendra. I know what you was doing, Velvet. And even though I didn't know Janae directly. She's been around since 2017 trying to get into that group. It's like, I see you. I know. Y'all, come on. But hey, they got their justice. They got what they wanted. And I'm not going to, hey. But that's why I'm so passionate about this, because y'all, I know y'all. I see y'all. Y'all used to come to me all the time. Why we faking? Come on. Like, and you can't tell nobody nothing.
Right.
When you did try to say something, what they do, and we could blame it on him, but at the end of the day, at least you and I were one of them, and now look at
Right. Right. I feel like that's something I definitely take pride in. I was just like, well, at least I ain't slapped nobody. And I'm like, no shade if you did, no shade if you had to, if you had to get pushed pushed that
yeah,
far. If
yeah,
you got pushed to that limit. And I was just like, you know what? That's something I can take to the grave. Like with me,
yeah,
is like, I did stand 10 toes. Like I did try my best to be a voice for you, even like for those that didn't have a voice for themselves in those moments. So
yeah.
yeah.
And
I
I
mean, like, honestly, like, I feel like a major part of me releasing everything too was like mourning that friendship that I thought that I had with him. Because just like you said, he was coming to you and asking you for advice. Like, we would have those moments where he'd be like, let me talk to you. And then he would have those moments where he's like, the same thing that I said to you, he would come to me like, I feel like you're the only one that's gonna give me a straight answer. And we would have those meetings, and we would have those exchanges where it just felt like all the bullshit dissipated, right? But honestly, I don't know. Like, that's where I mean, like, I mourned a friendship that I thought that I had, because when it all came around, I was still thrown under the bus. When it all came around, I was still humiliated in front of the group. um I'm sorry, it's coming out so choppy and so weird. Like I said, my voice has been choked up on this situation for so long. But yeah.
girl, and I'm glad that you shared that. That's how you felt about the situation, because our own perspective can be our demise.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It took me to say that for you to be like, thank you. And that's what it's about, Tori. And so many people respect you. And you and I don't agree on everything. I've said things the opposite of you, but that's not what it's about.
Mm.
Because you have your experience and what you think is based on that. You know what I mean? And I think that's why you and I can come and sit here and talk and have appreciation and respect for each other, because we know what's up. We know what we tried to do. And
Mm.
and I just want you to know, many people respect you. You
Mm.
are one that everyone is like, Tori don't take no shit. Put
Yeah.
the footage out there. You showed the world. You was a part of that. And I
Yeah.
hope you see that. I hope moving forward you'll come out of that carbonation shell. Be like, well,
Yeah.
I did it. Because that's what we love about
Right.
you. We love
Right. Right.
you just say it like it is. And of course, he is going to suppress that because he don't want everybody to be like that. Then he can't be who he is. But on the flip side, he still needed that. And I feel like once that opposition that we carried left him, it destroyed him, because then he didn't have nobody there to say, no, I don't think so. No, admit.
Exactly. Exactly. And that was something I said, like, when I was talking to my mother about it, and I was telling her, I was just like, I feel like I didn't stop the process, but I feel like I definitely helped slow the progression of what it was turning into, because I was constantly that person in the back, like, hey, maybe not, maybe that's not okay. And like, although this person isn't saying that, we can all feel that person's energy. We can see the sadness in that person's eyes. We can see that this is not feeling okay with them, even if even if they're trying to justify it and twist it in their minds, right? Because of the knowledge or the logic that you're feeding them. And I feel like once I left and once that voice was not there, then of course it went all downhill, because you have everybody just like saying, yeah, yeah, this is cool. Yes, we're okay with this, even if they're not okay. And I feel like that was his opportunity to start taking accountability for his own actions, and to really use the knowledge and his own wisdom. Because I'm not saying like he was like, crazy, like where he didn't have any understanding. He knew what he was doing at the same time too. And I feel like that was his opportunity to start actually empathizing with the people that were there, with his tribe, with his family that was there, and to really respect how they felt and honor that. And he didn't. He took advantage. And that, I mean, meetings upon meetings, man, when we were pointing this out in his chart. But yeah, yeah,
Teaching all this stuff that did not apply to him.
right.
Like, but that's his fault.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just like, maybe that is karma. I mean, we all learn our lessons differently. And like when you messaged me earlier, I was like, I feel like we're always on the path. And even when he's in prison, he's still on his path. He said he's gonna continue to teach while he's there. And I honestly hope he's learned something from it. I really hope that he doesn't continue to victimize himself in this situation and feel like he was railroaded, etc. Because honestly, I feel like this outcome happened because all of the energy that had accumulated from what he was doing from so many people that he hurt. It wasn't just that those people that testified. There was many people that came and go that he hurt, that he made a negative impact on, and that he did not take accountability for. And he would continuously say to me, stop telling me I'm wrong. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Allah will show me that I'm wrong. Allah will tell me I'm wrong. And now he's getting that moment so he can feel that smack that you are wrong. And I feel like the point that he was missing is that Allah speaks through all of us. God's, the universe, whatever you want to call it, streams through all of us. And the way that God uses people, God uses people to send a message, and he didn't recognize that. He didn't want to hear it. He wanted to be like, no, it's only streaming through me. And he wasn't looking at every member there that God was speaking through them to him. But man,
Why do you think that he wasn't able to do that?
I mean, I don't want to. I was gonna my immediate answer was astrology. Like when you look at his aspects, okay, so those aspects are a little hard. Okay, we got a lot of squares in there, so those squares are squaring. But outside of that, he got in his own way. Just like you said it before, he got in his own way, and he felt it. He saw it, but he knew that he had the power and the ability to manipulate everyone that was around him, and that's what he did instead. He felt like I'm gonna push it as far as I can, and he did. And now he's feeling the pain of pushing it to the limit versus taking accountability, versus empathizing and having compassion and changing. He pushed it to the limit.
Yeah,
That's what I said. Like I feel like carbonation wasn't about the growth of Nature Boy. It was about the growth of everybody else. Like it was about us developing ourselves and seeing ourselves. Because like I don't think it was ever meant for him to like grow or take accountability or none of that. Like because he's not. I don't think he is. Like I feel like he's gonna go to the grave with the same stance he finished the trial with what he said. Like he's still standing on that same thing, and I feel like that's gonna be forever, so
yeah,
like all we can do as people who are part of that is to take the lessons from that ourselves and be able to leverage that for our own growth and development, rather than like putting so much focus on him to do it, because that might not be his role in this lifetime.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
yeah, so, yeah.
Right.
I
agree with that.
A few of the spiritual texts that we've read, and even I'm in Kabbalah, they teach about the energy of who Nature Boy is that
these oppositions come into your life to show you who you are. And even in Kabbalah, they teach that there are no victims. So this isn't something that I'm teaching because I have a lack of empathy and sympathy. No, I have been studying since I left because I wanted to prove him wrong. But every time that I read these different spiritual texts, esoteric texts, and even got into these different ideas, they all pointed back to why he showed me why he came into my life. And if you don't see that, you just don't see that. But I'm thankful I got the grace to be able to look at it that way. And I think that's why I was able to move in the way that I move, because I'm like, oh, okay. And it wasn't his brainwashing, as y'all saying. This is stuff that I read. So unless these texts are brainwashing us, I mean, hey, that ain't on me to say. I'll let you be the judge of that. But yeah, I agree with Quetzal. It's like I'm not looking for him to change. Cause did I tell you I saw him like, and this was the last time I had spoke to him. Like he had try to persuade me, or just not only to say he just tried to tell me that I belong to him, and that the Zen belongs to his father, and I need to leave Zen and Quetzal to come back with him. This is why he's in jail, and I'm just like, and I just sat there and listened to it.
He said that in jail?
Yes. This was when all this stuff was happening.
Yeah.
And then when Aaron was there.
He wanted her to go be homeless for Aya and them.
Yeah. And then, so when he saw that, that's how we opened it to where he wanted to talk to us to thank us for sending the money, because that's when Aaron had disappeared. So we was really like,
but
rooting for Aaron and what was going on.
Any type of little energy you give him, he's gonna be like, oh,
yeah,
they want to come.
Take it and run with it for sure.
But this is what I learned. So when he called me when I wasn't with them. It just so happened I was out grocery shopping, and then they called me, and then that's when we had the conversation. His conversations were different when it was me and Quetzal versus me. So he said that he was like, yeah, you don't want to be with him. He don't want to be with you. Y'all not supposed to be together. You're mine. And he's like, you need to leave Zen with his father, because Zen belongs to his father, and you need to come back and be with me. And I'm just sitting there listening to him, because I'm like, this nigga had the audacity to say this. And I didn't say nothing. I was just like, I think I was like, yeah, I understand that. That's how me and Quetzal may feel, but I'm not gonna leave Zen with him. Like I was saying that, but I just listened. I didn't like say anything. So then after that, about a week goes by, I started feeling a certain way, and I didn't tell Quetzal what he said. I just told Quetzal that I spoke to him, but I didn't tell Quetzal what was said. But I said, Quetzal, I think I need to talk to Nature Boy. I need to address him, because I can't let him talk to me the way that he did. That's not okay. I don't give him permission. That's when I realized I am giving him permission to think he can just talk to me any type of way.
Exactly.
And respectful to the man I'm with. It don't matter if me and Quetzal did this and that. This is the man that's taking care of me, paying my bills, and this is the man in my life, and I don't give you permission to talk to me.
Respect your relationship.
Yeah, and so that's when I saw my part, and then I can see why there was a wedge between me and Quetzal, because of what I allowed Nature Boy to do and say. So I was like, so I sent him some money, cash app. I was like, hey, tell Nature Boy, or tell whatever his name was, to call me. And so he did. And then I said, hey, and I didn't tell Quetzal what he said. I was like, look, that conversation we had, it can never happen again. I said, I do not give you permission to talk to me in that way. That was disrespectful on my partner and our relationship. And I do not give you permission to talk to me like that. It's not okay to talk to you like that. It is not okay for you to talk to me like that. And it's going to end here. I said, and if you are upset about that, I don't care. If you're going to come into my dreams, if you're always going to be a part of my life, I accept that you're always going to be in my life, in my dreams, whatever. But I do not give you permission to talk to me and disrespect my.
I don't even accept that. I rebuke the hell out of that. Don't come to my dreams. Listen, you are not welcome within my energy field whatsoever. No, absolutely not.
Whatever you want, but you ain't about to do that. I don't give you. I said I don't care. I said I don't care. Say, because I said I don't care what you say.
So do you feel like you got closure now after that? Do you feel like you have the closure you need, or do you feel like you still you feel like you still need to communicate with him? Because honestly, I feel like after 2020, was the last time I
Yeah,
talked to him, and I felt after that I was like, I have nothing I want to say to him. Like
yeah,
I mean, I forgive. Like honestly, somebody asked me when I was on the live with Neek if I forgive, and I was just like, no. But when I look up the definition of what forgiveness is, I was like, I guess I do, because I don't hold resentment for what anybody's done to me while they were there, what
mhm,
he's done. But I definitely have established boundaries. I feel like that was my main lesson while I was there, learning to establish boundaries. And like I said, after that, I was just like, there's no reason for us to communicate. You know, I learned the lessons while I was there. I'm thankful for the experience. I know you were put in my life for a reason, and I was put in yours for a reason as well. But there's no sense in communicating again, especially with you having no remorse for anything that you've done, especially with you taking no accountability for anything that you've done. Talking to you would be like talking to a brick wall.
yeah,
It would be pointless. It would be pointless to have a conversation with somebody that shows no personal self-growth,
yeah,
in my
yeah,
opinion. So I'm wondering, like, well, do you feel like, okay, that's the end of that, or do you feel like the door is still open?
Well, okay, well, to answer the question, that was that moment. Because remember, I don't know if you, I know you've been watching, but that was the first time I ever like confronted everything. Like when
Hmm.
we were having that moment when we were talking to Nature Boy, it was because we were confronting him with stuff. It wasn't no, we just sitting up on like, hey, how you doing? How's mama
Okay,
doing?
right.
No, it was more so, um, this is what you did to me. This is what you said, and this is wasn't okay. And he was actually apologizing. He was
Mm-hmm.
apologizing and giving his reasons. He was apologizing to Quetzal. He was showing remorse.
Mm-hmm.
But then that last conversation, and then when I spoke to him, that's when I was trying to like in that whatever that thing we had, I saw my part in. I was like, oh no, I can't let him talk to me that way.
Right,
And I saw
exactly.
my part. I saw my part. So that's when I was like, I need to confront him. And then when I did, of course he didn't listen to me, girl. Of course he was like, he was doing trying to do manipulative stuff. And before I know it, girl, I went ham on him and kept I don't know what I said to him, but I went off on him. I said everything. I said, if you're gonna come around me, you're gonna have to feel my pain. You're gonna have to feel that hurt that you put on me. You're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
take responsibility. And if you don't, I said, don't ever come around me thinking that you're gonna be able to talk to me any type of way and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I said, I do not give you permission. I don't know what I said, but then once I got off the phone with him, Quetzal was like, I now just saw the student become the teacher. And I was like, what? It was crazy. And you know that they text me and he said the same shit that he said to them. I forgive you. I love you. You know, I'm not mad at you. It's him. It's not me. And, like, and
It's
I was
all of,
like,
like, honestly, that's what I mean, where I feel like it's no point. I feel like
oh,
it's like a, I don't know how to, I don't want to say a game. It's like a tape, it's like a game slash tape recorder where it's like a loop. It's like a loop. And he'll like, even honestly, even with him saying, I found the teacher, the student just became the teacher. You know what I mean?
no,
Like
Quetzal,
I
no, Quetzal said that,
oh,
not him.
Castle,
Yeah,
okay, okay. I love that. Okay, I love that.
I,
That was awesome.
Quetzal,
Okay.
I was sitting there because I was shaking because I never confronted someone
Go
so
Castle.
hard.
He like, go ahead,
Yeah,
baby.
like Nature Boy.
That last time, baby.
Yeah, and then he said that, and then you said, I don't think he's going to. I don't think he is going to hear what you say. I don't think it's going to change him. I said, Kessel is not. That wasn't for him. That was for me to change. That was
Mhm.
for me to start holding myself accountable to what I allowed that man to do in my life and disrespect what we have. That I said that was for me to finally face that and rebuke it. And no, I was like a year ago, and I have not talked to him since, and I do not want to. Like
I
now,
love that.
let me
I,
talk
man,
now.
I feel like honestly, I do feel like everyone that has left, um well, just a few. The few people that I know, personally, I can't speak on anybody else. I feel like our self-awareness and accountability is amazing. Just like I honestly, when I hear when I've spoken to a few people, when I speak to y'all, I'm just like these people are very self-aware. Like the internet can say whatever they want to say. At the end of the day, like these are the people that are looking at themselves. daily. These are the people that are looking at their weaknesses and alchemizing them and turning them into strengths. And like I like, and I see why I was so attracted to it, because like your video, I think it was you, Kendra, and I don't remember who else was in the video, but like that, when I saw y'all video, that's what attracted me. I'm like, I want that sisterhood. I wanted that bond. And I'm like, there were some amazing souls there, some intelligent souls, like, and I'm just like, wow. I'm very impressed. But make a long story short, I gotta go though. But thank y'all for sharing constantly and having the bravery and the courage, and I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of everything that y'all have done, and yeah, thank you for inspiring me and helping to give me my voice and giving me that safe space while I was there. And even you, Quetzal, like you were such a peaceful man. You were such a peaceful man when you were there. You like, honestly, you didn't have much to say, and when you did say something, it was just like he knew like where it was just like, I'm not gonna argue with this is gonna get nowhere. And like I honestly respect the fact that you saved your energy a lot of the times when you were there. And honestly, I remember a time when I escaped and I went into the studio, and you helped teach me how to do some tech stuff. You know, you were a safe space for me there as well. And I appreciate y'all, and I love y'all relationship, and I'm so happy for y'all.
And likewise, girl, we love you. We're so happy with your husband and your children, and y'all are thriving. I love that for you.
Appreciate it. Bye, y'all.
All right. Take care.
Oh, yes, I love that too. That made my heart smile too. What's her name? Pasty. That made my heart smile too. That's the legacy that I'm continuing on. That there were good times there amongst us as the group. There was, and I'm not gonna let nobody sit there and say it wasn't, because you see it, that was something that we got to experience together. And me and Quetzal, we tried to create another tribe, and it ain't happened for us. But I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not supposed to. Maybe that was it, and maybe that's as far as we're going to go. But I appreciate all the experiences, the conversations that I had with everyone there. I remember. You might have forgot, but I remember. I remember. I remember what we all went through together. I remember the conversations we had. I remember the love we had for each other. I remember how we encouraged each other and called each other out. I remember. Okay? Y'all might have forgot, but I remember those sweet moments that we had. And one day you're going to look back. You'll be like, dang, I wish I would have made more of that situation than how I looked at it. But I remember it, and nobody ain't going to make me forget. And talking to Tori, she confirms that for me, as I remember. Even in my childhood, it wasn't all good. Hell, my mom gave me up for adoption, and my daddy didn't come out like I was 15. But that doesn't mean that I ain't had good moments. You know what I mean? Like, I started off life rough, but I still came out okay. And like, if anything, you gotta take the bitters with the sweets, and that's how it was for me. That ain't everybody's experience, but for me, that was my experience, and I was able to end it by confronting him and laying him out and saying no more. I was able to do that, and move on my life in peace. And I wish that for everyone involved, that you can move on with your life in peace now. Have anything else to say before we go?
No. I think I've said.
Thank you. Thank you for being here in my life. Thank you for trusting the process. I thank you for having the courage to do something so out there with a whole bunch of Black people. I thank you for coming there and wanting to make a difference. And I thank you for being the father of my child. I thank you for being a partner in my life. And I thank you for just continue to go the mile with me. because it could totally be a different way, like it was for Aaron, Kendra. That could have been us, but it's not. And I thank you.
Well, I thank you because I feel like without you, I would probably have the mindset and attitude that a lot of people had leaving, and you really helped me have a healthy perspective, an empowering perspective, and also you really have helped me to grow as a man too. Just help me to a certain standard. Like, to be honest, like, you know, I went into carbonation as a young man, single, with no responsibilities, and I came out of there with a whole family, you know, and yeah, and I'm grateful for you because, you know, like you have so much wisdom, and I've benefited so much from you in this relationship. You know, like even as hard as it's been, you know, and all the differences we've had and everything we've had to overcome, like I've become better because of you, because I left with you. You know, we left together.
And I become better because of you, Quetzal. Yeah. We're in this together. On that note, y'all, we're leaving. We're tired. I might save this, but right, it's over. Time to move forward.